Hello and welcome back to Watch EN. I'm your host, Emily Schneider, and today we have a very special guest. This person graduated from Ball State with a degree in education. She graduated from Purdue with a degree in library sciences. She received a Teacher of the Year award, and in 2012 was elected state superintendent. Please welcome Mrs. Glenda Ritz.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you for being here today. So as a superintendent, how would you describe your jobs and duties day to day?
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, my job is different every day, and I love my job every day. So one of my key responsibilities is to ensure that we're providing support to the schools. So when I first was elected, I made it my mission to be sure that we had an outreach for school improvement. So we have coordinators all around the state of Indiana who know the principals of all the schools in which they serve in their areas. And so outreach for making school improvement is the most important thing. But we oversee the state testing. We oversee over $8 billion worth of funding that goes out to all of our schools to be sure that classrooms have what they need for student learning.
That's awesome. So you get a chance to visit East Noble. Have you got a chance to visit every school in Indiana?
Not every school, but we actually keep a list. And where I've been around the state of Indiana, I travel 2 to 3 days a week.
Awesome. So why do you think education is a great field for Hoosiers to get into?
Well, first of all, I hope we have more students who want to take an opportunity to get into the field of education. They have to be people who actually like to work with children of all ages, and they may have their specialties, but working with kids is such a rewarding experience. Being that caring adult in somebody's life, to be able to make a difference in how they may view their own learning. And so it's an exciting field. I actually have several licenses, so from special ed, general ed, and library science, and you can have such a diverse diversity, I guess, actually within your field. There's so many different opportunities for you as a professional.
Mm-hmm. So you have many different degrees. What was kind of your favorite field to get into, and what made you get into education?
So I got into education when I was pretty young. I knew I wanted to be a teacher, but I took cadet teaching at the high school level. So I actually took a career course. And so for 2 days a week, I spent time, a couple hours a week, in an elementary classroom. And I said, this is what I want to do. How do I get there? I am the only person that has graduated from college in my family. And so it never occurred to me I couldn't go to college, but my family didn't have any money to send me to college. So I worked 2 or 3 jobs to put myself through Ball State University to become a teacher, and it's been my life ever since, and I've enjoyed it, and knew I had a passion for working with kids.
Awesome. So what do you think the correlation is between new facilities and student achievements?
So in today's world with technology advancements, facility upgrades are always needed. So whether if you have an outdated building that needs to be totally redone, or you have a new building, it has to be really capable of running all the technology pieces that you want to have. In addition, students who attend what I would call new facilities also have a sense of ownership to what goes into that building. It will be having learning spaces that look different than a traditional building that might be many years old. So you have different needs continually. It's pretty much like the housing industry. Houses were built a different way a long time ago. They're built differently now. Different spaces are needed within the houses, and so schools need to keep up too with the times.
Awesome. Well, how do you think technology is affecting students in the classroom?
Well, technology is integral. So I'd like your staff and students to know that I'm a media specialist and I've always been involved with integrating technology. Mm-hmm. So East Noble is on the forefront of doing that, but it's never going to go away. It's going to only be more pervasive in our lives. And so we have to embrace it. Teachers have to be sure that they are well versed in technology use, and let students show them frequently on new uses and how to make things more creative and use it to the utmost, because it's never going to go away.
Yeah. So as East Noble proposes a new middle school, what would you give advice for voters?
Oh my goodness. So referendums for public schools I am always in support of. Obviously it's a tax increase for your community, but there's nothing more important to invest in. Your schools are the most important investment that taxpayers can make in their communities, because it leads to economic prosperity. So the more you invest in your schools, the more that you'll get an outcome for that as the years go by.
Awesome. Well, a few of those future students are here with us today, and they want to ask a few questions to Mrs. Ritz. So guys, come on up. These are Southside Elementary students from the Southside Scoop.
My name is Joshua Leslie.
I'm Sophia Gruzik.
I'm Haley Klein.
What are your thoughts on the projection of fewer A's for the school ratings following the new changes to the school evaluation system with ISTEP?
Well, first of all, we don't really know how many A's will be earned with the new grading system because we're taking a brand new assessment this year. And as fifth graders, is that what grade you're in?
Yep.
You know that you've had a different test this year, and so we don't know the outcome of those assessments. So whereby we've done some projections on what we think might happen, we won't know until we actually have the results from your assessment, actually do lots of different calculations and cutoff scores to determine what earned grades will be. What I can tell you is we're going to let all schools know what that's going to be ahead of time. So even before we actually start it at the end of 15-16 school year, schools will get to see what will be their grade under the old system and what will be their grade under the new system. So everybody will be able to still have some input even after we do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have you ever considered paying students for their good grades and achievement? What are your thoughts on the topic?
Oh, that's interesting. So, I don't know that schools could ever be in the position to afford to do such a thing. Perhaps that's more of a family kind of reward system, recognition system for your hard work. I do know that there are many families who actually reward their students, their children for good work. In terms of the school, I really am a big, what I call intrinsic reward person. I feel that the learner should intrinsically, inside of them, be always telling themselves they did a great job and what does that look like and how can I improve. If we always have external, which is mean extrinsic, which means somebody's giving you something for doing something, then you don't always internalize it for yourself about what it means. So our job as educators, I feel, is to make sure learners know how to learn. So that's the main thing that we do here.
What are your goals for enhancing technology in all Indiana schools?
Well, I'm all about at the Department of Education. Our mission actually is to build an education system of equity, and that means everybody has access, and high quality, focused on student-centered accountability, what you do and how that looks. So I am all about making sure that all the schools in Indiana have good connectivity and are able to have access, students can have access to technology within their schools. But you're right, it's not equal and it's not equity right now because it differs greatly, and you should feel very blessed that your school system has embraced technology for many years, making sure that you're always ahead of the curve with your learning.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Great questions.
And our final question for today is, what do you think is on the horizon for Indiana education?
Oh, wow. So there are a great many things that the Department of Education is focused on, from pre-K all the way through pathways for all students. So right now, both of those areas with the little and those in high school are probably a key focus for us at the department. Pathways for all students is extremely important to me, that students have relevance to what they're learning at the high school level. It should lead them with a passion to go forth for post-secondary work, whether that be right into the workforce or into some post-secondary schooling. With technology advancements, students are always going to be what I call reinventing themselves. So they need to have the skills and be the learner, the type of learner that they can do that very, very easily.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here today and taking time out of your, I'm sure, very busy schedule.
Thank you very much.
And thank you all for tuning in.